Hello, I'm John, and I'm thrilled to welcome you to my brand new YouTube channel dedicated to everything Microsoft SQL Server reporting and integration services, and perhaps in the near future, I'll throw in some database administration pieces in there. In the last video on this topic, which was published yesterday, there was an issue with background noise that a viewer kindly brought to my attention. Thank you for that feedback. I appreciate that. And this is the second take on the same topic, and I appreciate your understanding as we work to improve the quality. Now, in today's video, we'll dive into the world of temporary tables, and we'll explore what they are, what the types are available, and discuss some key points that will enhance your understanding and skills in using them effectively. So let's get started. The temporary tables aren't always recognized or referred to as quote unquote temp. For example, if they can serve as a temporary holding place for your records, for your data, for a separate process or processes that to consume data and then be emptied, or what we call truncated, once the process is complete and gone. This type of temporary table is commonly known as staging tables. And but in this clip, in this video, in this session, I'll focus on actual temporary tables and leave the broader integration services topics for another time. And here are the bulleted items that we're going to be discussing. So, what is a table? Regardless if it's a physical table or temporary table, basically is a collection of records, kind of similar to Microsoft Excel sheets, right? Rows and columns, and you choose data types for your columns the same way. And collection of these records and tables, whether they are relational or not, they create databases, right? And you can hold millions and millions of records in tables, and hopefully not in Excel sheets, but it is not uncommon to see them on the database sites. I am going to switch my screen from the slides to Microsoft SQL Server Management Studio, and so we can explore a few examples together. I have my SSMS open, and I normally play around with the database that is called Sandbox. You can have any database for doing these such practices, exercises, right? So I'm just gonna go ahead and switch my my environment to my sandbox, and I don't have to type the whole thing. I can tab it over, and we can execute this. So now we are, if you look on the top left corner, you got the sandbox over there, and down here is sandbox, and so we are in sandbox. Now, what I want to start with first is table variable. Show you how quickly we can create one. So you can start with a declare, not create table, but declare. Declare, let's say my table is a table type, and I'm just gonna add a field in there. Field, I don't know, 01, small int. We're not gonna go with big numbers, and start using the semicolons, because in the near future, Microsoft will make it mandated for each statement ending. So here's the declare, right? Oh, great. So it's declared. What's in it? Well, nothing. So why don't we insert something in there? But before we do that, let's take a look at see if there's anything in it to begin with, right? And what's interesting is it will say this table doesn't exist because the life of a declarative table or table variable, it's based on its session. When the session is completed, it's gone. You don't have it. So how are we going to see what's in it if we insert? It has to be as part of a one batch, right? So I'm going to go ahead and insert a couple of pieces of data in there, right? And let's say insert my table. The column is, if I can type, field 1, and the values are, let's say 1, you can separate them by comma, right? And 3 values. So let's take a look at this. What do we have in here? Well, look at that. So we got 3 records. Okay, that's great. Now, is it still in there? No, it's gone. The session completed, right? The execution was done. Now let's try the hashtag or pound sign tables, right? It's going to be basically almost the same thing with some differences. First of all, declare is not there. Going to be create, right? And it's going to be a create table. And we're going to remove this one or move it to the left. And of course, we got to change that to a pound sign or a hash, right? And also in here, we're going to change that to hash. And one more. And okay, what do we have here? Oh, look at that. Now, we can repeat this again. Remember, the hashtag tables are stored in TempDB system database. So it remembers that. So if you try to recreate it, it will not like it. It will bark at you. It says, what? The table already exists. You can't do that. And the values that we already had it in there is still there. So how are we going to get rid of it is by drop table, right? And that. This will get rid of that table in TempDB. Now, if you look at what's in that table, it's gone. Now, in the bigger scheme of the session is this little canvas that is open, this little query screen that is open, right? If I would have closed it, whether I saved the results or not, that table would have been gone. But it's always a good practice at the end of your statements, do add a drop table and get rid of the temp table, just in case, right? So what we have in here is 3 records. Now, one of the important pieces that I was going to discuss is user-defined table types. You can find that under programmabilities, right? And on the left side, you see there's a type. There are a bunch of different types, which in the future videos, I'll be going through some of those examples. So please come back and take a look at those, and you will see how and why we should be using variables. Well, why do we, now this is a good time for me to talk about variables. Why do we use variables? So you don't have to statically assign values every time. And what if you want to change something in a store procedure or a view or some batch file? What you have to go find all those pieces of database objects that you once decided to go statically and change them manually. But if you use a variable, the variables can be passed on to different database objects and can be reused. It's the same thing with the data types. Now you may say or ask, what's wrong with the integer? Why do I need that? Why do I need to redeclare something new? Well, that's not quite for the same reason. Let's say you have 100 different database objects, right? And in store procedures that they're declaring some temporary tables that one or more columns they are using, let's say varchar 10, right? And you come to find out, oh boy, somebody decided to change the size to 25 or 30. Now I got to go find all those places and change them. And believe you me, there were times that I missed one or two of them and caused some production errors, and I had to go back and correct them. But if I had a table defined in my user defined area, I could have simply made that adjustment in one place and affect 100 different places. Make sense? So let's take a look at that. Where are these table types stored? So I'm going to cheat, and I have this little piece typed up in here that will let you see where to find these data types. Well, right now you'll see it says UDT my table. I created that with the same concept of creating a table, and it's easily done by adding a create type statement. Create type, you give it a name, right? Whatever the field data type may be, and you can choose whatever you want, additional columns, whatnot, and declare it. And once it's declared, once it's created and declared as a user-defined table type, you can use it over and over, right? Without reiterating like the way we did up here. As you see between the line 5 and 7 that we declared, that we said, hey, is a field 1 with the type of small int. Now watch this. I'm going to go ahead and declare my table, right? And I'm not going through the same detail as I was creating that table in line 5. All I have to do is just say, hey, is a type of my table, right? Just like when we say the field 1 is a type of integer, right? So as you can see, I was able to add 3 records into that table too. So this is a great example of user-defined table type or data type. Well, this is officially my first video. I did have one more, but that was before I had my channel. I just moved it over and it's in SSIS and checkpoints. But anyway, this video is considered as the very first video. Take 2, I should say. I hope you enjoyed it and took away some valuable insight from the topic. And thank you for watching. And if you found this helpful, please subscribe. And I look forward to seeing you in my upcoming videos. Thank you. Have a great day.